Welcome to Key Tech. Please describe this channel if you are interested in today's video. Biden is eager to get rid of dependence on China's rare earths and establish a rare earth supply chain system that does not contain Chinese technology. Everyone knows that rare earths are very important raw materials and are used in all walks of life. The development of technology, communications, military, etc. in the United States is inseparable from rare earths. The United States tried its best to circle the earth and finally found two countries that had the conditions to provide rare earths. However, Biden was helpless and had to turn to China in the end. The United States is looking for rare earth alternatives. What you need to know is that rare earths refer to a group of metal elements that are extremely small in the Earth's crust, such as lanthanide elements, scandium, yttrium, cerium, etc. Due to the special properties and importance of rare earth elements, the rare earth industry has become an important part of the global high-tech industry. This has also led to a very high dependence on rare earths in the United States. Since the United States has very few rare earth reserves, the United States needs to import large amounts of rare earths from other countries. China is the world's largest producer and exporter of rare earths, accounting for more than 80% of global rare earth production. Therefore, China's rare earths are crucial to the high-tech industry of the United States. Although the United States is also strengthening the mining and research and development of rare earths, the current production and technological level cannot meet domestic demand. For the United States, a reliable supply of rare earths is very important. The United States has found two countries to seek alternatives to rare earths. These two countries are Mongolia and Australia. There is a reason why the United States looks to Mongolia and Australia. Although Mongolia's rare earth reserves are not as good as China's, it also has a certain mining scale and technical level which can provide the United States with a certain degree of rare earth replacement. Australia is also one of the countries with rich rare earth reserves, and the main rare earth mineral resources are located in Western Australia. Not only that, both Mongolia and Australia intend to have good relations with the United States. Mongolia has been seeking a third neighbor. Cooperation with the United States can introduce more foreign investment and help Mongolia develop infrastructure. Not to mention Australia, which has maintained an ally relationship with the United States for many years, will naturally find ways to meet the United States' rare earth needs. But what makes Biden feel helpless is that in the end he has to ask China. Chinese rare earths that cannot be bypassed. Although Mongolia and Australia have certain rare earth mineral resources, it is not so easy to establish a complete rare earth industry chain. China has a complete supporting technology, from mining to processing, and then to the shipment of finished products. Every link has been conquered by China. However, some problems in Mongolia and Australia prevent them from bypassing China. Looking at Mongolia first, the biggest problem is transportation. After Mongolia has mined rare earths, it needs to export rare earths by sea, land and air. As a landlocked country, Mongolia's transportation infrastructure construction is relatively lagging behind. The road network covers a small area, the quality of the roads is average, and the connectivity of the roads is not good. In many places, rare earths need to be transported through wild roads. Due to Mongolia's plateau, complex terrain and cold climate, this also increases the difficulty and cost of rare earth transportation. Land transportation is not possible, and sea and air transportation are even more difficult. Mongolia does not have a rich water system, and sea transportation must go to Tianjin port in China. Mongolia once made a request to lease Tianjin port, but there was no news of the agreement in the country. As for air transportation, Mongolia has relatively little air transportation, and the number of airports is limited, not to mention the huge cost of air transportation, which is not worth it at all. Neither sea, land nor air will work. You can imagine how difficult it is for the United States to obtain rare earths from Mongolia. The best shipping method also requires the cooperation of China. But in this case, the United States still has to rely on China. Looking at Australia, the country's Peak Rare Earths is a company engaged in the exploration, mining and processing of rare earth minerals, aiming to become the largest rare earth supplier outside China's rare earth supply chain. Peak Rare Earths holds some rare earth mineral resources, such as the Ngwala Rare Earth Mine project in Tanzania. The company stated that if it cannot cooperate with China, China will just sit still. The implication is that it cannot be decoupled from China's rare earth supply chain. Choosing to cooperate with China can quickly promote the project and obtain certain capital support. With China's cooperation, the rare earth project in the hands of Peak Rare Earths can be put into production several years ahead of schedule. How difficult is it for the United States to build its own rare earth industry chain? Neither Mongolia nor Australia can bypass China's rare earths. Their infrastructure level is average and they lack a complete industrial chain system. The United States went around the world looking for rare earths from the two countries, but the result was still the same. The question is, how difficult is it for the United States to build its own rare earth industry chain? The difficulty may be beyond Biden's imagination. On the one hand, the United States has relatively few rare earth mineral reserves. At present, the world's main rare earth producing areas are mainly concentrated in China, Australia, Russia, and other places. Therefore, to build a rare earth industry chain in the United States, a large amount of investment and technical support are needed to mine and utilize rare earth mineral resources in the United States. The mining and processing of rare earth minerals requires certain environmental protection measures and technical means. The United States has always attached great importance to environmental protection issues. The country's environmental protection laws may not support manufacturers in large-scale mining of rare earths in the United States. On the other hand, the rare earth industry involves multiple links, including rare earth material processing, rare earth product manufacturing, etc. Each link requires huge investment in capital and technical support. The technical processing requirements involved are very high, and the United States is almost blank. Therefore, it is difficult for the United States to build its own rare earth industry chain in a short period of time. Even if you invest 10 years, you may not be able to change anything. Rare earths need to develop in the context of globalization. If the United States insists on decoupling, no matter how hard it puts in, it will be in vain. If you agree with the point of view of this video, please like it, welcome to Forward, leave a message and share.